good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're in the world. Tyrus Bain, welcome to the definition of anarchy. Where today, on May 27th, 2021, on a Thursday, I'm going to talk about the people that are more dangerous than the police. More dangerous than the police. Let me tell you. Those people are way more dangerous than police officers. You know why? Because they give police officers the confidence that they need to terrorize people.
Proceed on
Wax Dog was good.
Parkway.
Was good, bro. Villains. Yo, Wax Dog. You out in Virginia, man. You know about Mighty Mouse. I would like to call you to arms to spread the word in Virginia, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to get this chomo shut down. Salute, brother. Anyway, these bad shiners, man, they're way more dangerous than bad cops, right? Way more dangerous than the police, because they give the police the confidence to terrorize people. Like I said, they're the ones who want to keep qualified immunity for the cops, so the cops aren't held responsible for doing bad shit. What kind of world do we live in when people aren't held accountable for their actions, right? Whether it be an accident, whether it be neglect, whether it be deliberate, whether it be malicious, if you're not held accountable for your actions, a lot more malicious shit can happen in the police department than not, right? Why do I bring this up? Well, you know, you got this whole George Floyd anniversary, right? There's a number of things I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to talk about all of this in one video. So we had the George Floyd anniversary, okay? George Floyd anniversary of his death. What's up, Gusto? The anniversary of George Floyd's death, where they had they're doing a little celebration. I don't know what they were doing. Oh, here, Deuce. But apparently there was some gunshots, okay? Some people opened fire. I think one person got hit, something like that. It was like a drive-by shooting type deal, right? And I think it came down that they were white. But anyway, that's irrelevant. So, of course, they're going to use this because this happened at the George Floyd anniversary, right? And these people hate George Floyd. They hate George Floyd because he committed crimes, right? Back in the day that he served time for, right? He paid his debt to society. He robbed a woman, you know what I'm saying? Which made him a piece of shit. And at the time, if he was robbing a woman, if that woman had the means to protect herself, right, like a firearm, she could have took care of him right then and there, right? But anyway, so that happened back in the day. But because he had done that, and because if you do any crime, right, if you commit any crime, period, and you have an encounter with the police, if you die from that encounter, even if it's not your fault, it's still your fault. You shouldn't have been a criminal 10 years ago. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had encountered that police officer and dealt with them in the way you dealt with them, blah, 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 right? Because they have this whole thing where, oh, comply or die. And that's what makes them dangerous. Comply or die. These idiots are pushing that comply or die narrative. And that's what makes it dangerous as well. Comply or die. That's bullshit. But that's what they're pushing. So if a police officer is pulling you over for no goddamn reason, and they're forcing you to interact with them, you're just supposed to keep your mouth shut. Go, oh yeah, yes, oh yes, sir, yes, sir, whatever you want, sir. Oh, don't worry about me. I I have an appointment in 10 minutes, but you know, it's okay. I'll just have it canceled and I'll have to wait 2-3 more. Like, all that bullshit. You're supposed to sit there and put a smile on your face. And what else are you supposed to do for these people? How far should we go for police officers to make them feel comfortable when they're pulling us over? When we have done nothing wrong. How comfortable are we supposed to? We supposed to make the police feel good about running around harassing people all day? If we don't kiss a cop's ass when they pull us over, we need to die, right? That's how these people think. If a cop pulls you over, do what they say, kiss their ass so that you don't present a danger to them, and this, that, and the third, and you'll be okay. But we know that people die when they comply with the police. They die when they comply. They die when they don't comply. They die when they resist. They die when they don't resist. But people like ABL and Brandon Tatum are not going to acknowledge that. In their mind, cops can do no wrong. They'll back them up no matter what. Right? So they'll sit up here and try to make you believe that the police were not allowed to be at the George Floyd anniversary thingy where there was the shooting. And then their thing is, well, if the cops were there, if there were cops there, then the shooting wouldn't have happened. Both of those things are lies. Okay? Both of those things are lies, right? Because the cops were allowed to be there. There were cops around somewhere. And no, cops don't stop shootings, right? I've seen people shoot right in front of cops, shooting at people, right? So that's bullshit. But they want you to believe that we need the cops. We need the police. We need them. Without them, it'll be chaos. It would be anarchy. It'll be anarchy all over the place. It'd just be it'd be too much destruction and death, and everything will fall apart without the police. Anyway, they want you to put so much belief and faith and support into the police when these police officers run around enforcing unconstitutional laws, right? You have a problem with the lockdown, but who's enforcing the lockdown? You have a problem with the mask mandates, but who's enforcing the mask mandates? Right? And then there's Ronald Green. Okay? Ronald Green. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ronald Green. I think it was a couple years ago. I think it was in 2000. Ronald Green, correct me if I'm wrong though. Ronald Green is a gentleman who ran a red light. He ran a red light. Did he hit anybody in the process? No. Was he in danger of hitting? No. He just ran a red light. I think it was really late at night. He ran a red light, okay? And the police were there. They saw him. They chased him, right? He didn't want to pull over. So the cops chase him down. They're doing over 100 miles per hour. He runs into a tree, all right? Runs into a tree. And then, you know, he runs into the tree. These police officers are aggressively chasing him down. They're yelling at him, cussing at him. They're mad aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And they're just mad aggressive. And the dude, Ronald Green, is talking about how scared he is. I'm scared. I'm this, I'm that. But he's not getting out of the vehicle right away. Number one, he just hit a fucking tree at 100 and some miles per hour. Right? But you want him to just fly out of the car as soon as you pull up? You don't know if he's hurt, if there's internal bleeding, if he broke something. He's just supposed to hop out the car when you tell him to. Ronald Green. Oh, just get out. Oh, you're not complying. Oh, listen to me. Get out. Meanwhile, Ronald Green is talking about how afraid he is. Right? Oh, I'm scared. I'm this, I'm that. You know, he doesn't sound like somebody who's wants to attack the police. It sounds like he's someone who wants to hide from the police, who wants to protect himself from the police by staying in the vehicle. All right. So what ends up happening? They pull him out of the car. They tase him and all this other shit. Hit him, punch him in the ribs. They drag him around a little bit. Now, the media, they did exaggerate a little bit about how he was treated, right? Yes. Right? They said that he was like just beaten to a bloody pulp and all this other shit. That didn't necessarily happen. He was hit in the ribs a few times. He was tased a bunch of times. And he was left on his belly for quite a while, like 10 minutes until the EMT showed up, till the fire department showed up. All right. Now, at some point on the way to the hospital, he passed away. Right. And of course, Brandon Tatum is covering this situation while the video's playing. And he don't have no problem with nothing that happened. Right. No problem with the tasing. No problem with him getting punched in the ribs. What he calls softening them up. Right. That's what he says. Soften them up. He just softened them up in the ribs a little bit. Okay. It wasn't an all-out beat down like they were trying to make it look like. Okay, but listen, he was tased a bunch of times, and they did drag him a little on the ground, left him face down on the ground for a while. Now let's look at that. Brandon Tatum said, "What do you want us to do?" Right? What do you want him to do? Well, first of all,
west is on the right.
Why are you leaving him on his belly? You can't let him lay on his side? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to roll him onto his side until EMT showed up. But you didn't do that. You left him on his belly. You were pissed off at him because out of the vehicle right away. Now, this is the thing that he tried to play off, right? Because initially, they told the coroner that he died on impact, right? When he hit the tree, died on impact. But then he saw bruises on the dude. He saw taser marks, and was like, "What the hell? If he ran into a tree and died on impact, why does he have all these contusions and all this other shit?" So they lied to the family, which is why they're suing him, right? Lied to the family about how he died, right? So if what you did was okay, right? If what those police officers did was okay. Now, Brandon Tatum will make you think, oh, well, he tried to play it off. You know what I'm saying? Trying to say, oh, they just said that he died as a result of the crash. No, they said that he died on impact, that he was dead before the cops got to him. Anyway, why would you lie about how somebody died that you tried to take into custody, unless there was something there that you didn't want people to know about that would make you look bad, even though it wasn't as bad of like I've seen worse beatings from cops. All right. Now, this is my thing though. Even though the beating was not super bad, yeah, he punched him in the ribs a few times. The fact that he had to get chased down in the first place, that's the problem.
Keep right.
But people don't want to go to that, right?
West.
They want to say, if you commit a traffic infraction, what they call a traffic infraction, it doesn't matter if what you did resulted in somebody getting injured or killed. The fact that you just did it, we have to chase you down, or we got to make you pull over, and then we got to make you pay a fine, right? That's where the problem is. That's where the problem is.
Keep right onto
because
10 West.
You're not solving anything by giving people tickets for speeding. You think that'll be a deterrent? No, it's not. You know what happens? People speed anyway and hope they don't get caught. People run red lights and hope they don't get caught. Hope cops aren't around. These laws don't stop people right?
Keep left
From
onto
doing these
I-10
traffic
west,
violations.
and then
Otherwise,
keep
there'll
left
be no traffic
onto
violations. There'll be
I-10
very few.
west.
There wouldn't be as many car accidents. The reason that they do it is so that they can extort your ass of all your money, as much money as possible. $300 goddamn speeding ticket here, right? Oh, you ran a red light, $200 ticket. That's the whole point. It's not about safety. That's not what it's about.
Keep left.
It's not what it's about at all.
I-10
They want you to think it's
west.
about safety, but that's not what it's about. And that's the biggest problem. If somebody runs a red light, did y'all know that a cop has discretion on whether or not they pull that person over? If a person runs a red light
Proceed on I-10
and
west.
there's nothing happens, they don't crash into anybody, they didn't get close to crashing anybody, they looked both ways, didn't see anybody coming, decided to roll through the light. A cop does not have to pull that person over. But they choose to because they're power trippers. They choose to because power, I'm telling you guys something, power is a fucking addictive thing, man. When you place in a position of power, in a position of authority, and you like that shit, you feed off of it. That makes you who you are. A power hungry piece of shit. That's what's going on with these police officers. You think a cop cares? Because they do the same shit. They'll run a red light, they'll run a stop sign, they'll do all that without responding to an emergency. They'll do all kind of traffic violations, throwing their little cherries constantly. So it's not about safety. It's about the power they wield. It's about that qualified immunity. It's about the protection that they receive from the states. That's what it's about. I can do it, you can't. And when you do it, you're going to have a problem with me. And if you don't pull over, I'm going to chase your ass down. And then I'm going to run you off the road. No one wants to look at the catalyst of the situation. No one wants to look at the root cause. They always want to look at the event as it's occurring. They want to look at the result, right? Ronald Green led them on a chase because the cops wanted to pull his ass over and fuck with him. Right? But because they're cops, we're just supposed to do whatever the fuck they want. We're supposed to pull over. We're supposed to allow them to do whatever. Like, come on, man. If I did that, if I saw somebody run a red light and I tried to pull them over and I would be rightly placed in jail. Yeah. I would be committing a crime, right? That's what cops do when they fuck with you. I know. They keep us safe, they do. No, they don't. And this is the funny thing about these people. ABL, Brandon Tatum, they've all acknowledged, and the Hodge twins super acknowledge this. The cops, they don't prevent crimes. They show up after the crime is committed to do investigations, to place people under arrest.
No traffic.
You can't place people under arrest unless they've committed a crime. And that's 9 times out of 10 what a cop does. And as I would go as far as to say, cops can sometimes make more crimes be committed, right? Because let's say I'm selling somebody drugs, okay? I'm selling somebody drugs, which is not a crime, by the way. If you're selling drugs, somebody who wants to buy drugs, that's not a crime. That's a motherfucking mutually consensual transaction, point blank in the period. It doesn't matter what the drugs does to the person. They wanted the drugs. As long as they're not forcing the drugs onto somebody else that don't want the drugs, that's on them. Anyway, let's say you're a cop. You're watching a hand-to-hand transaction, money and drugs, right? And you say, you know what? I'm going to arrest those people. So, first thing they did wrong in your mind is that they're selling drugs. Well, guess what? It could have stopped there. If you left them alone, they could have sold the drugs and boom, everything would have been copacetic. But what you have to do and say, hey, what are you doing? And you go up to them and you try to arrest them, and they start taking off, they start running, you know what I'm saying? And then now there's another crime, right? They're running from the police, they're resisting arrest. And then any number of things can happen. You can hurt somebody while you're running, you push somebody over, you know what I'm saying? Or you might hop in somebody's car, carjack them to get away from the cops. There's another crime, right? Now you're on a high-speed chase. You might hit a couple cars, maybe even hit a pedestrian. Boom, there's more crimes. Because the cop decided to fuck with somebody that was not doing anything wrong. They were buying drugs for themselves, and the drug dealer was selling them drugs. And guess what? Right? People's argument for not legalizing drugs, for not decriminalizing drugs, is that you're going to have drug dealers. Oh, well, if you decriminalize drugs, you're going to have people selling drugs. You're going to have crack dens and crack houses and drug houses and trap houses. You already got that. With it being criminalized, you already have drug houses. You already have crackheads. You already have fucking drug dealers. What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. They'll tell you without criminalizing drugs, you're going to have drugs on the streets. Motherfucker, there's already drugs on the streets. Make it make sense. The people that want to do drugs are already doing drugs. You think somebody who really wants to do drugs are going to be like, man, I can't wait till they decriminalize crack so I can go smoke me some crack? No. If a motherfucker want to smoke crack, they're going to go smoke some crack. With or without a law. Just like it's the same argument with the firearms, right? If you get rid of all the gun laws, idiots seem to think that if you get rid of all the gun laws, people are just going to start picking up guns and killing each other left and right. It's going to be the Wild Wild West. There's going to be mass shootings every 2 seconds. What world am I living in? Where's the common sense? Well, we all know common sense ain't common, right? This is crazy. Right? But who enforces this shit? The police. Oh, if you legalize drugs, they're gonna be drug dealers. You're gonna have drugs on the street. People gonna be cracked out. Get the fuck out of here. They're already cracked out. I mean, these are people. These are the same, like, people think these people are intelligent and smart, and they think they know come on, man. Come on, man. Like, come on, dude. For real? Oh, if you legalize guns, oh, well, if you take machine guns off the NFA, then people are just gonna get machine guns, start mowing people down for no reason. That's not how it works. People who already have a desire to hurt other people, they're going to do it anyway. People who want to do drugs, they're going to do drugs with or without a fucking law. At least if you legalize it, it'll be a lot easier for them to do the drugs. They won't have to hide it, right? They won't have to go around doing sneaky shit. Drug dealers won't have to kill snitches, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at all the shit that happens because of the war on drugs and because drugs are illegal. You create whole crime organizations, ruthless crime organizations, like the cartels, right? Like the distributors on the street level. And then, or not the street level, the dealers, the distributors, and then you got the dealers. You create whole crime organizations around drugs being illegal. Right? Millions of people locked up for nonviolent crimes. Millions. Oh, you had a bag of weed. What state? I heard some stupid shit, some state. I think it's Oklahoma. If you get caught with weed, you get 2 years to life. What the fuck is that? 2 years to life for marijuana. 2 years to life. In a state like Georgia, I'm not sure if it's still like this, but you can get 5 to 30 years for marijuana. Weed. Okay? What? And this, no one sees the problem with this. Who enforces that though? Yeah, you can say all day, if you smoke, if you smoke some weed, you can get two to life. Well, if there's nobody to enforce it, if the cop said, "Fuck, we ain't enforcing that shit. We're not doing that," then it's bullshit. It's not gonna do anything. So cops enforce the stupidest shit. You know why? Because they stupid. Cops just follow orders, right? They don't have any level of just critical thinking, right? And those that do exercise critical thinking a little bit in the police department, they're not doing enough of it because they're still in the police department, where others around them are not exercising critical thinking in terms of what they enforce and what they don't enforce. Why do we need cops? For what? Oh, well, and this is another stupid argument. If you don't have cops, you're going to have untrained vigilantes running around, like killing Ahmaud Arbery. Remember them? Oh, you see, you had them vigilantes running around. Oh, George Zimmerman. Oh, the vigilantes going to go around killing everybody. Let me ask y'all something. Did cops stop them from killing, I think, what do I call them? Batman and Robin McMichaels?
Stop and go traffic.
Did they stop them? Cops existed when Ahmaud Arbery got killed, right? What about Trayvon Martin? All these things you saying won't exist or are going to exist without cops already exist. Matter of fact, even with cops, right? Up to 2 million, right? From 500,000 to 2 million people a year. What? Let me rephrase that. 500,000 to 2 million crimes, or 500,000, 2 million people's lives are saved by the use of a firearm. Are they vigilantes too? The cops didn't need the cops. They handled it them damn selves with their firearms. Up to 2 million. And the reason it's up to 2 million is because the assault on them was stopped, so they don't know how far it could have gone, right? You can't really say lives saved if you used a gun to prevent anything that could have happened to you. So depending on the person that attacked you, they might have wanted to kill you. They didn't get a chance to, because guess what? You had the means to defend yourself. 2 million, up to 2 million, without cops. Cops came later, cleaned shit up. But you can train anybody to do that, right? There's whole cities in this country that use private police departments. Private police departments.
Stop and go traffic.
They answer directly to the people that pay them in that community. Right? So it happens, it exists. That's something that we can replace. We can replace all cops with private police departments, private police for private security. They can be trained to do the same thing that cops are trained to do, except they'd be trained on good service, right? Treating the people in their community as they should be treated, right? If you're a bad cop, you'd be weeded out just like that. You'd be encouraged to snitch on bad cops, right? Won't be no blue wall of silence. They can be trained to investigate murders. They can, all that shit. So it's just a stupid argument. Like cops are people, right? They go through 8 weeks of training or however long to learn a certain shit, and then they go to continue. Like, that can happen to anybody. What you're changing is the regime on how you're changing the atmosphere, and you're changing the culture behind policing to where they're held accountable, to where they actually are obligated to serve and protect the people in their community, where they're actually obligated to think twice about acting when they encounter a situation, right? And we've seen it done. We've seen it done in other countries. We've seen it done in this country, where they pick and choose to handle a violent situation in a certain way, where they don't have to just automatically kill a motherfucker or automatically put somebody in the chokehold. They know how to exercise restraint when they want to. But if you change the culture, they would be obligated to do that. They wouldn't just be able to say, "Oh, I feared for my life, so I shot him in the back of the head while he was running away." They wouldn't be able to get away with that. But they don't want to talk about that. People like ABL and Brandon Tatum, they don't want to have those conversations because they want the cops to be able to do things like that. They want the cops to be able to say, "Oh, I feared for my life and shot somebody in the back as they were running away." Well, you shouldn't have ran away. Well, you shouldn't have put yourself in a position to encounter the police in the first place. Is that what happens every time somebody encounters the police? Or do the cops insert themselves in people's business when they're not supposed to sometimes? I say 5 times out of 10, cops just insert themselves into people's lives when it's unnecessary. They wouldn't be able to do that either. This stop and frisk, fucking all that bullshit, it wouldn't go down. You just got to change the culture of policing. And you got to encourage people to defend themselves. You got to encourage people to carry firearms to defend themselves. You got to get rid of all these goddamn gun laws. They don't want to have that conversation because they feel like I don't know what they think. I don't know if they think that something like that would never happen to them. I'm pretty sure they think that, right? All these people, all these bad shiners, they think that a cop would never, or they would never do me wrong. Well, you tell that to all the, the conservative people at them rallies in the last year that started hating the police, right? They found out the hard way when they started arresting the Trump supporters instead of Antifa, when Antifa were the ones attacking them. When the cops decided, based on orders coming from the mayor or whoever, that they were going to protect Antifa and go after conservatives.
Proceed about 1 mile.
Oh man, imagine.
Sawtell Boulevard.
Imagine how their world shattered when they discovered that. You know what I'm saying? You think it won't happen to you? If you're a bad shiner, do you think that you can't encounter a cop, a bad cop out on the streets? You think it's just not gonna happen?
Slow traffic.
That's what these people think. They think that they can actually. They're never gonna. Oh, that never happened to me. There's no such thing as a bad cop. They think they can just. They think they won't fall victim to a bad cop, and that's funny to me because they're supposed to be smarter than that, right? Maybe they are smarter than that. Maybe they just don't want to lose their white conservative base that, pays them thousands of dollars a month to spew their bullshit and make them feel good and warm and fuzzy. Maybe that's what it is. But I know this. we got to start holding these people accountable too. Cops can't just be the only ones held accountable. We got to call these people on their bullshit. We got to call all of them on their bullshit. Tim Pool, ABL, Brandon Tatum, the Hodge twins. Call them on their bullshit. They always slipping. They always contradicting themselves. There's always an opening. We can't let, I mean, come on. Just like we, you know, well, not just like, no, that's a whole different ball game right there. Because they're dangerous. These people are dangerous, man.
In half of a mile, left turn.
They're the reason.
Onto Sawtell Boulevard.
Like, so they're the reason that the Republicans, you know, in Congress and in the Senate won't entertain any real police reform. Not that that really is the goal anyway. You know, it's all a dog and pony show. Left, right, paradigm kabuki theater bullshit. But they're just playing off the energy that the people are giving them, right? Based on the energy the people are giving, that's what they go with. They go with that script. You know what I'm saying? Like, these I swear to God, these people need to be held accountable, because when the shit goes down, they're going to be the ones pointing you out. Oh, that guy right there. When they start, when they implement this TAPS Act and these red flag laws,
and then your destination is ahead.
Those are going to be the type of people to rat you out, because they feel like they're doing the right thing, right? No, them people are dangerous. They're dangerous, and they should know better, but they don't know better. They don't do better. They know better. They don't do better. They don't do better. This fool, and I'll never stop saying this, this fool Brandon Tatum said that when he was a cop, I want y'all to think about this.
You have arrived.
When he was a cop,
the route guidance is now finished.
He understood that if an 80-year-old woman called in a burglary, right, called in a burglary to her house, he understood that he might have to kill that 80-year-old woman. That's what he said. I want y'all to think about that. Think about that. If an 80-year-old woman calls in a burglary, I might have to kill that 80-year-old woman. Who thinks like that but a fucking psychopath? But this is how cops think. And this is how they're trained to think. I'm going to repeat what he said. If a 90-year-old woman calls in a burglary to the people that she feels are supposed to serve and protect them, which are the police, if an 80-year-old woman calls in a burglary, he might have to kill that 80-year-old woman, because he's going to show up ready to kill, right? Ready, on alert, like, oh, I might have to, you know what I'm saying, somebody move the wrong, I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm going to just pop off. I might have to kill that 80-year-old woman. And why do they think that? Why do they think that? Because they know cops have qualified immunity, that they're not held responsible for their actions. If an 80-year-old woman calls in a burglary, I might have to kill that 80-year-old woman. Does that sound like we need citizen reform? Or does that sound like we need police reform? And that's what that fool ABL said. We don't need police reform. We need citizen reform. That's what he said. You see the mentality? The psychopathy of these motherfuckers? I don't get it. 5 to 25. Just look at the system. The system that these police officers enforce, right? With the system of laws that these police officers enforce. 5 to 30 years for marijuana. But somebody like Mighty Mouse, who drugged, pimped out, and had sex with a 14-year-old child at 30, or 28, 29, 30, whatever, gets what, 6 to 8 years? And now he's running around willy-nilly. And this dude has cops supporting him. Going to a gym where there's a bunch of ex-cops. And when you call to giving them the information about it, we ain't gonna get it. We ain't got nothing to say about that. Oh yeah, this, that, and the third. Like, come on, man. These are cops. There's a theory going around that Mouse has cops in his pocket. And they know he's a registered sex offender. I'm just saying, y'all. No, the whole system is fucked. No, because it's not just Virginia. There's states where a sex offender, a child sex predator, could get 3 years in prison. 3 years. Some get probation. Right? One guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. Raped a 6-year-old black girl by a dumpster. Forgot his name. He was a swimmer. Right? He was a swimmer in college. Raped a 6-year-old girl by a dumpster. And the judge gave him, I think he gave him probation, and didn't even give him, like, he said, oh, I don't want to ruin your life. He raped a 6-year-old child. You see this? See that? That's the system that we're putting. Come on, man. A 6-year-old child, but I don't want to ruin your life. So I'm just going to give you some probation. I want you to think long and hard about what you did, young man. Fuck out of here. He needed to be strung up right in the back of that courtroom, right behind, outside in the back. That's what he needed. That's what needed to happen. Because you know what? I was thinking a bullet is cheap. One bullet, right? A one well-placed bullet. But if you use a rope, you can reuse that rope. You can buy a rope. You probably get about 100 uses out of it before you have to replace it. So I think a rope is a better investment for those type of people. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I got to get an adjustment. Let me see what y'all talking about real quick. James Miller says government always making laws that turn people into criminals overnight. Exactly. Oh, hey, dude said smoking weed since 92, legal or illegal, don't matter. True that. Yeah. What's good, Kosovo 87? Kosovo 87. Gusto. Gusto says make America godly again. Yeah, crimes against women gets no pass. I agree. Dark Nebula was good. I had to push that Wax Dog button on Mighty Mouse, man, because Wax Dog is a beast too. So hopefully, Wax Dog can join the cause. But anyway, yeah, man, let's look at who we supporting and just call people out on their bullshit, man. Call people out of their bullshit. But anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I might get at y'all on Sunday when I do a Ruckin' Live, because I do plan on doing a Ruckin' Live on Sunday. And then I'll holler at y'all later, man. Peace out. Oh, like, share, subscribe. Go check out my book, The Seeds of Dark Matter, on Amazon. It's a really good book. Y'all need to check that out. Hold on real quick. Kosovo 87 says, Mighty Mouse lame supporters call us trolls, how are we trolls when we are going against a predator? It doesn't make sense. Shouting at clouds was good. It doesn't make sense. We can't make sense of this stuff. Like, it's just, we have to accept it for what it is. He has supporters that are going to support him no matter what, and we have to keep an eye out for those type of people because we don't know what they're going to look like. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stay with my head on the swivel. You know, I keep myself alert and on point. So it is what it is. That's the cards I was dealt. When I decided to get into this fight, I knew that he was going to have fanatics that were going to ride for him no matter what. Because the thing is, it's not just one predator in the world. It's not just two. It's not just 100. It's not just 100,000. It's not just 1 million. It's not just 100 million. There are a lot more predators than you think. So just keep that in mind, man. Much love. Peace out. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom.